Greetings. One of the things that I've been often called upon to do is to help do conflict resolution and help with disputes among partnerships and issues of that kind. It's an unfortunate reality for many of us that when we get involved in partnerships, we don't necessarily do enough screening as to what makes a good relationship a good relationship. I know that this may seem a little awkward, but I'm going to make the comparison to a partnership in business being a lot like a marriage. And so with that in mind, it's really important to go into this partnership just like you would go into a marriage with some pretty clear understanding about what each of you brings to the relationship and what each of your expectations are to get out of that relationship. And the reason I mention that is if we don't spend time talking about that and we don't spend time clarifying that, it can make for some real challenging situations down the road. And I know that no one likes to talk about this either, but I think about partnership agreements, which are different than a legal buy-sell agreement, but a partnership agreement or a membership agreement or a shareholder agreement that kind of specifically spells out what's gonna happen in this relationship as it progresses among the members who are involved in it. There's something called the founders. There's something called the founders rule, and the founder rule says this: that if 5 people get together and start a business together, that sometime within the first 5 to 7 years, 3 of those 5 people will have left the partnership. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe it's just a change in their lifestyle, or maybe they've come across a new opportunity that is more intriguing for them, or maybe they have a spousal situation that requires attention or requires moving, or maybe that the enterprise just isn't meeting what they thought their expectations to be. With that in mind, it's really important to have some sort of document, if you will, in the reference to marriage again, some sort of prenup agreement that talks about what happens if somebody wants out. Not only does it map out a clear level of expectation and responsibility and roles for the ongoing relationship, but also what happens if somebody wants out. What happens if someone needs to leave, or what happens if somebody gets sick, or what happens if, I don't know, heaven forbids, one of the parties pass away, and can one person sell their membership to someone else, or can you restrict those? I have to tell you, just like marriages, the number of ways that partnerships can stumble into trouble if they haven't talked about this stuff in advance can be a little mind-boggling. One of the things I always like to say is, by the time they start throwing dishes, the talking is done. So I would recommend that if you're considering such a relationship as that, let's talk for a minute and clarify what everyone's expectations and everyone's desires are, because nobody wants to end up in business divorce court. You take care of yourselves. If you've got any questions, feel free to give me a call.